श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विशेषैव प्रोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। करतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभः निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं गपत्युजम्बुः फलसारभक्षितं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं। शुक्लां भरतरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। व्यासम् अष्टनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकलं वशं वराशरात्मनि वन्दे जगदातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मणदेवासिष्ठानमो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So previously we looked at Sanjaya visiting Upaplavya, where he delivered Dhritarashtra's message that wherever Pandavas are there today, and let them be happy, but do not think about getting into a war with their own brothers. Instead, Yudhishthira said that they have a right to ask for their Indraprastha back. If Duryodhana does not wish to give that, he can give at least 5 villages. So they asked for 5 villages, and hearing Pandava's message, Sanjaya returns to Hastinapura. What he does when he returns? First thing, he goes to Dhritarashtra when he was seated with everybody else. He rebukes Dhritarashtra. He scolds him, saying that your greed is going to destroy this entire race, Kuru race, and just blinded by his son's affection for his son, he's completely not thinking about dharma, what is right and what is wrong. He's not thinking about that. He's going in the not following the truthful path. So that's why he's going to face the consequences. And Sanjaya scolds him in front of everybody. And then he says, I'm very tired. I'm not going to tell anything more. I will come back to assembly tomorrow and narrate everything that Pandavas have said. So that's where we stopped last time. So let's look at what happened after that. So listening to what Sanjay had said, Dhritarashtra becomes very worried. And he asks, he sends a messenger saying that one of his servants saying that I want to see Vidura, bring him here without any delay. And immediately that messenger goes to Vidura and says that the king wants to see you, please come. And immediately Vidura sets out from his place, comes to the palace, and he stands outside the palace and tells the messenger, the gatekeeper, the doorkeeper that I'm outside, inform the king. And he goes inside and informs Dhritarashtra that Vidura is waiting for your permission to enter. And Dhritarashtra says that he can come. And once Vidura goes inside, he salutes him, and then he says that you can come anytime to my place without asking any permissions. You don't have to stand outside like an outsider. So Dhritarashtra then says that, and Vidura asks why you have asked me come so urgently here. What is the rush? Tell me all that. And Dhritarashtra says that Sanjay has come back and he's gone away after rebuking me. So tomorrow he will deliver the message in the court, in the assembly, Yudhishthira's message. He will deliver that, but I am not able to understand what that message is going to be. What that message Yudhishthira has sent, I'm not able to think because Sanjaya did not sound normal. He never, never speaks like that, but he did not sound normal, and that's this thing is burning me, burning my body, and I'm becoming sleepless. I'm struggling. I can't get sleep. So it's thinking about this. You are very much learned. You are very much versed in both dharma, artha, religion, and profit. So tell me, what is Sanjay is going to tell tomorrow? You know all these things, so tell me all those. So Vidura says that sleeplessness overtakes these people. Who are they? A thief. because he's always thinking whether he's going to get caught or not. A lustful person, the person who has lost all his wealth, and the one who has failed to achieve his success, and also the one that is weak, um, and has been attacked by a strong person. So these are the people who do not get sleep. So the thief, obviously, lustful person, is always thinking about those things, and the one who has lost all his wealth and is thinking about that, and the person who failed to achieve, he tried to achieve something but did not succeed in those things, and is thinking about always that, and then the weak person attacked by the strong person. And he says that I hope none of these have overtaken you, and I hope you are not grieving for the wealth of others. Uh, you are not desiring the wealth of other people. I hope you are not doing those things like a thief you are trying to do, or you have not lost your wealth and you fail to achieve your success. I hope none of this for you. But why you are saying you are losing your sleep? Dhritarashtra then says that your words always I want to hear. Tell me what is right. Okay, what is the Raja Rishis in this race who have come in this race? Those Raja Rishis. Raja Rishi is a king who lived like a rishi, who had the knowledge and lived life like a rishi. Okay, so they are called Raja Rishis, royal sages. So they are actually considered as sages like Janaka or Nahusha or Yayati, all uh, uh, these kings. We hear already Shibi and Bana and many Veda and many other kings. We hear, right. So those kings, they lived. They were Kshatriyas, lived the life of kings, but they lived like a rishis. So tell me about uh, all those things. What is good? And then Vidura says that uh, King Yudhishthira is virtuous and is worthy of becoming a king of all the three worlds. Yet, what you have done, you have kept him aside, you exiled him, and then, even though he is possessed of all the qualities, you kept him away. Although virtuous and knowing all the morality and everything, yet uh, you do not share the kingdom with him. You are not supposed to own this kingdom because you do not have sight. You cannot see. You are blind. So you are not supposed to have the kingdom, but you still have this kingdom and you control this. And Yudhishthira patiently wait for all the wrongs you have done. Still, he waits for you. He still listens to you. He still obeys you. So just listening to Duryodhana, Shakuni, Karna, Dushasana, and all these things, how can you have prosperity? How can you have hope of prosperity? So he says that so the person who is not served from the high end of life by the aid of knowledge, self-knowledge, that is Atma Jnana. So knowing what is right and Brahman, so knowing that, and who is not doing exertion and who does not have the forbearance, steadiness in virtue. Uh, so these things one should have. So if those things with that one should always do, and that person is called wise. Again, those persons who is called uh, are called wise men who have adherence to the actions they do. So they follow the whatever they're saying. They are worthy of prize, and they are they know what is blamable, what is people blame on things, so what is unworthy, and they know the faith and reverence. So these people, again, he says that the person who never enjoys anger nor joy, nor does not have any, he does not have any pride, and he also does not have any false modesty, stupidity, stupefaction, vanity, all these things, so they attain higher end life. Okay, so they are always higher end life, and they are called considered as wise people. Again, he says that the person who intended, uh, whose acts, intended acts and proposed counsel remain concealed from the foe. So that means you never tell what you are going to do. You hold that within yourself, and the acts become known only after they have done it. So only after then done it. So such person is considered to be wise. Such a king is considered to be wise. So they don't tell in advance that I'm going to do this, I'm going to attack you, or I'm going to do all these things. They think about that, they keep that secret. And again, the actions that are never obstructed by heat or cold, fear, attachment, prosperity, adversity, these are considered wise. Again, the person who is not scared of anything, okay, he's not worried about those things, he does not have much of attachment, okay, so he does it because it's the rightful thing to do. And the persons whose judgment is not attached or directed by, whose judgment is driven by desire, okay, so that person is considered wise, and who always follows virtuous path, who follows the dharma, artha, whatever that's rightful thing, he does that, that's considered, is considered. And again, he disregarding all the pleasures, he chooses the actions which is good in both the worlds, both here and hereafter, in those worlds. So such a person who chooses the pleasures both in this world and next world, such person is considered as wise. Again, Vidura says that the person who exerts the best of his might, he is considered wise, and also who acts best of their might, would they again, so they do everything to achieve success, and they disregard nothing as insignificant, they always try, and such person is considered as wise. Obviously, he also says that uh, a person who understands quickly, listens patiently, and pursues his objects with judgment and not from the desire, and does not spend his affairs of others without being asked, is considered as wise. So he is considered as having some person who is having the wisdom. So here again, important. One person does not act quickly, hastily, does not act. He thinks about before doing something, and he patiently listens to the wise people. And he always pursues everything after coming to a proper conclusion that this is rightful thing to do. It is dharma, thinking about dharma, artha, then only he does it. And he does not get into the affairs of other people. So without being asked. So he just put his nose into everything that's not relevant to him. So again, those person who do not strive for the objects of unattainable. So what you can't achieve, they are not going to do this. So those are the wise people. So they will, again, previously said, the person who thinks about before doing something, he thinks again, if something is unattainable, they are not going to strive for those things. And then again, when something is lost or gone, they do not grieve for this because they do not have those attachments, and they do not suffer from their minds to be clouded by calamity. So if something goes wrong, they do not grieve over this, and they do not think about this again and again and spend their life thinking about what is already lost. And those who uh, strive for things and having commencing something, they will not stop. They will not waste any time, and they have their self under full control. They are Atma under full control because they do not have any attachment. They do not grieve for whether it is success or failure. Again, you will hear this again. And when it comes to Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, do your actions, do not think about the outcome of those things, right? So same thing here, Vidura saying that. So the people who do and they do not waste their time once they start doing something, and they always take delight in doing honest actions, and they always tend to their happiness and prosperity, never sneer about uh, what others are doing. So what is good, he always uh, does what is does not do anything that does not honor him, and he does not grieves at this last simple things, he does not grieve for those things. Again, remain cool and unagitated. So such a person is considered as the wise person. So Vidura also says that the person who's knows all the creatures, okay, so whether it is subject to destruction or not, he knows all those things, and he also knows about all the connection to all the actions. So he knows the creation, destructions, everything. So, and is proficient in the knowledge that men may resort to all the things to attain their objects. He is considered as wise because he again, uh, this again comes down to attachment, right? So, people, if one knows that everything is subject to destruction or is going to disappear at some point, such person is considered as wise. Then the person who speaks boldly and he can converse with various subjects, he knows the signs of again argumentation, so arguing something, how to argue with somebody on certain topics or things, and who never abstains from paying respect to those who are good. Such person is considered as wise. Is also the person, on the other hand, he says who is not wise, who is unwise, who is ignorant. So he says that the person who is ignorant of scriptures, uh, and a poor person who is always proud, and the person who resorts to unfair means for the acquisition of objects is a fool. Similarly, person uh, giving up what's already his own concerns himself with the objects of others. So he has something, he gives up that, but he always looks for the items or the objects that other people have. So that person is considered as a fool. The person practices deceitful means for serving his friends is considered as a fool. The person who wishes those things that should not be desired and gives up those things that legitimately one should desire, and also who bears malice to those that are powerful is regarded as a foolish person. Who the one who also regards an enemy as a friend and who hates and bears malice towards a friend and who commits wicked deeds is a fool. And also the person who divulges in his projects, doubts all the things, and spends a long time doing things what is required, a short time, who does not perform shraddha for his pitrus, who does not worship devatas, who does not acquire noble friends, is a fool. So again, the person who enters a place uninvited, talks too much without being asked, and reposes trust on untrustworthy persons is considered as a fool. Again, here is important, right? So performing Shraddha, we always talk about this, right? So Pitru Shraddhas one should perform. And then worshipping deities, having good friends, going to places uninvited, again, where there is some celebrations, festivals, sacrifices, or anything like that happening, one should not go uninvited, right? So you should always go invited to those places and talks without being asked. So again, speak only when someone asks you to something, then only speak. Otherwise, don't put your nose in some place where you should not be there. The person who, again, one who is already guilty of something, he blames others. And again, one who is impotent, that means doesn't is not strong and he does not have the capabilities. Such person becoming angry, that kind of person is a foolish man. Without knowing his own strength and uh, not aligning with dharma, artha, uh, and objects which are difficult to having desires with objects which are difficult to acquire, all those things, the person who adopting again doing adequate means to attain those things, such a person is considered as the one who is not intelligent, who is does not have any intelligence, and again who punishes the one undeserving, who pays homage to the one who does not have knowledge, and who waits upon the misers. So that person has had to be have little sense. And but having said that, the person having attained a lot of wealth, prosperity, or acquired vast learning does not bear himself. He does not consider himself very proud of himself, and he does not show off that he has wealth and prosperity or learning. Such person is considered as a wise. The person, again, similarly, Vidura says that a person who is having wealth, but who eats himself and wears all the create garments and everything, clothes and everything himself without distributing to others, without distributing that wealth on his dependents, such person is a heartless person. Vidura then continues again, says that the person, while one person commits a mistake, one person commits a sin, many people may benefit from that sin. But it is the person who actually doing the sin alone, doing that act alone, uh, where the sin attaches, not everybody that benefits from it. Because some people may benefit from without knowing it, those people are not attached to that sin. But the person who commits the sin is the one who is going to get. So again, Vidura says here, one should always discriminate the ones by the means of twos by the means of ones, and control the your uh, subjections the three by the means of four, and conquer the fives by knowing the six, and abstain from seven. That such a person is happy. So he now starts talking about this ones, twos, threes, fours, five, six, which he says that okay, so ones we should discriminate by the means of twos, and twos by the means of ones, and threes controlled by fours and things like that. So what are those ones, twos, he says? So he says that a poison kills one, a weapon kills one. Wicked counsel, however, destroys the entire kingdom. So that's why we should be careful of the wicked counsel that you're going to get. Again, one should not eat uh, savory one. So anything that's tasty, payasa, sweets, and things like that. We already talked about this. So one should not cook for oneself and eat it. Okay. And again, nor alone one should reflect in terms of when it comes to wealth and profit. One should not think about uh, one person alone. Okay. And again, never one should go alone in a journey, nor one should remain awake when everybody else is sleeping. Uh, among all the people sleeping, one should not alone stay awake. He also says that that being one, that's the Paramatma, who is only one, without there is no second to him, and who is not able to comprehend that Paramatma, who is the truth himself, the way to heaven, and who is like a boat in the ocean, who does not comprehend such that Paramatma, that person again. So one should try to understand that one person. That's the Paramatma. And he says that there is only one defect in forgiving, and that defect is people think that you are weak. But even then, forgiveness is considered to be great power, because forgiveness is the virtue of the weak. It is the ornament. It is the one that shines, and the people of who are very strong. Again, forgiveness subdues everything in the world. Even one is very angry with you, or one is grumpy with you, or whatever it is. If you forgive that person for whatever they have done, they will become even enemies. Vidura says that they will become your friends if you forgive them. Again, righteousness, dharma, is the one highest good. Forgiveness is the supreme peace. Knowledge is the supreme contentment. And benevolence is one's soul's happiness, one's soul happiness. So even just like uh, a snake goes in the holes and eats the animals, rats and other things, just like a king, the earth uh, divorce that these two people. Now he talks about the twos. Okay, so he talks about the twos. It divorced earth divorced the twos. One is king who is incompetent to fight, and the brahmana who does not go to tirtha yatra. So these two, king who is incompetent to fight and the brahmana who does not go to tirtha yatras, is considered again. So they are useless, and earth divorce them means they are useless. Okay, so they will be buried in the earth. And the man again attain renown in this world by doing two things: by refraining from harsh speech and disregarding the wicked people. So Vidura now talking about the twos, he says that how to get renown in this famous in this world by refraining from harsh speech and disregarding those that are wicked. So you do not have friendship with those wicked people. Again, so it says these two will not have their own. They are not have their own will of their own. So they will not think on their own. So the woman who covets the simply because another person uh, so woman covets a woman wishes to have a man just because another woman is wishing to have marry her or something like that. Okay. And similarly, the person who worships another simply because many other people are worshipping without knowing the reason, the person worships one. Okay. So this is again, we see a lot of these days where a lot of people worshipping different devatas, modern day devatas, right? And people worship and do all sort of things purely because there are other people worshipping. Okay, so without knowing whether that's aligns with the shastras, whether that's said in our shastras or not, people just worship and follow all these swamis and gurus and other things, even though they are destitute of knowledge and things like that. People still follow because other people are following, right? So that's what Vidura says here. So people, these two, such a persons do not have their own will. They just do what because what other people are going to do. And similarly, these two are like sharp thorns. Who are they? The, the desires of poor man and anger of impotent. So these are like sharp thorns, always going to pierce. And then the two persons never shine because they are incompatible actions, which is like a grihastha, a married man without taking exertion, doing the right things, and the beggar busy in um, putting his schemes together. So beggar's job should be going and begging where he should be going and starting his begging instead of thinking of which street I go and how putting schemes where there are less beggars, I'll go in that direction and all this kind of putting schemes instead of he should just go and ask for his alms. And that's what he says. So again, these two live as it were a region higher than heaven itself. So who are they? The power, the man of power endues with forgiveness. So the person who has always forgives, he lives in a region higher than heaven. He goes to the regions higher than heaven. And similarly, a poor man who is charitable, a poor man, even if he has little wealth, if he gives that in charity, such person attains higher heaven, place higher than heaven. And of the things one honestly got, that is righteously got, these two must be looked upon as a misuse. Okay, so gift giving to unworthy person and refusing to the worthy. So one should always when acquires, again it important here, things honestly got. So that means one acquired that wealth or whatever object that one has should have been acquired by righteous means. Okay, it should not be robbed from somebody. It should not be stolen from someone. Okay, so it acquired or decidedly acquired. So the object has been acquired in a righteous honest means, and that thing one should make sure that it should not go misuse. Misuse, how it could go misuse? By giving it to a person who is unworthy, who does not qualify for receiving that dana. And similarly, not giving it to a person who is worthy of receiving that dana. So all those two are the misuses. So if you have something, an object, and well, it could be anything, right? So if you want to give that dana, by not giving to or refusing to give it to a worthy person is a misuse of that object. Similarly, giving it to an unworthy person is a misuse of that object. And these should be thrown in the water, tightly binding weights to their end. So bind a stone to their necks and then throw them in the water. Who are they? The wealthy man who does not give wealth. Okay, to do the charity. A wealthy man who does not do the charity, he should be thrown in the water with rocks in his hand. And similarly, a poor man who is very proud. Okay, so that Poor man being content is okay, but being very proud is not okay. And similarly, he says that Vidura says these two person even can pierce, they can even pierce the orb of sun itself. Who are they? The sannyasi who is accomplished in yoga, and similarly a kshatriya who falls, who dies in an open fight in the battlefield. A kshatriya who dies, he has this, he attains the place even uh, uh, going beyond Surya. And similarly, a sannyasi who is accomplished in yoga. And his Vidura says that the men's means are good. So whatever one does, Vidura says that they are classified as good, middle, bad. Similarly, they are classified as good, bad, or in between. Okay, something that's different. Okay, it is neither good nor bad. So again, one should uh, employ this kind of work which may be fit. So you should sometime do the good, look at the what is good, bad, what is bad, what is indifferent. That means you don't care whether it's good or bad, you just abstain from it. Okay, another thing is finding the middle ground, good, bad, and something in between. And then he talks about the threes, which is again, so these three cannot have the wealth on their own. Who are they? The wife, a slave, and a son. So this, whatever they have, that belongs to the person. Say, for example, wife's wealth belongs to husband, slave's wealth belongs to their owner, the son's wealth belongs to his father. Similarly, great fear springs from these three crimes: theft of the other's property, outrage on others' wives, and breach of a friend. So, if one does any of these three, they have great fear. And these three, uh, they are destructive to oneself, are also gates of hell. So, which are they? Lust, anger, covetousness. So, those three are the gates of hell, and also they destroy the person who has them: lust, anger, and covetousness. And these three should be forsaken, which are even in immediate danger, when one should never give up on these three. They are a follower that's following you. You should never give up on them. The one who seeks your protection should never give up. Even if your life is in danger, you should always protect, try to protect. And the one who comes and says, I am yours. Okay. So those persons, you should never be given up on them. And similarly, liberating an enemy in distress uh, alone points to the merit same as these three taken together. What are those three? Conferring a boon, giving a boon to somebody, acquiring a kingdom, and obtaining a son. So the merit of these three is equal to, or same as, together is same as liberating somebody from in distress. So if somebody is in some sort of distress and if you help them, that is equal to merit of these three. Then Vidura says that a king should never consult these four. Even however powerful he is, he should never consult these four. So again, if you remember, previously Vidura said that uh, when we started here, so one should bring under your subjection of the three by the means of four. Okay, so whatever these threes we mentioned here, all these anger, lust, covetousness, all these things one should control by the means of these four, he said. Okay, so never consult these four. Who are they? Men of small sense, small thinking. And king should never, men who are always talking behind back, and who are not obedient, and who are flatters, always giving, but talking about nice things about you, who do not say the truth. And uh, one again, living a life of a householder, a grihast, a married man, these four should dwell with you. Who are they? Old people, relatives, high-born persons fallen into adversity, poor friends, and issueless sisters, the children who are sisters who do not have children. Those people should be living with you. and what the grihastha married man should have these people. And similarly, four things that are immediately can happen, can give the fruits. So those are resolve of devatas. So if devatas wish something, that can happen on the same day. The comprehend the one of intelligent person, whatever one intelligence one decides to do, that could happen on the same day. Humility of a learned man can result in things happening on the same day. And similarly, destruction of the sinful can happen on the same day. Many other all the other things takes probably more than a day. That's what Vidura says. And four that are calculated to remove fear or bring fear on when improperly performed. Okay, so those are Agnihotra, vow of silence, study, sacrifice in general. So these remove the fear, Agnihotra, vow of silence, study, sacrifice in general, remove the fear, but also they bring fear when improperly performed. Okay, and five fires should be worshipped. Okay, so those are father, mother, the Agni, the Atma, and Guru. These should be always should be worshipped. And by serving these five, that is the Pitrus, men's, beggars, and guests, men attain great fame in this world. And again, the five you follow wherever you go. Who are they? The friends, the enemies, those that are indifferent, those who probably do not care much, the dependents, and those who are entitled to maintenance. That means who are always coming to you as looking for so you are maintaining them, so that means you are looking after them. Those always will follow you wherever you go. And the five senses, looking at a man, they if any one of them leak, that's like leak a secret, then it ruins like a water running out from a vessel. Okay, a small, even a single hole can uh, empty the water in a vessel. Just like that, if one of the senses, five senses, is not under control, it can ruin a person. So Vidura talks about these things. Then again, he goes into six, sevens, and eights, and things like that. And Vidura's discourse continues like this. So we shall look at that next time. And take a pause here. This is again Vidura